What is going on, y'all? It is your boy Knowledge, 7-figure entrepreneur, and been in the notary space for going on 10 years. Today, what I really want to talk about was the notary mindset from going from $50 jobs to making $1 million, kind of like the mindset shifts that I need and the things that happened. And you guys need to probably take on some of these because it could help you take you to the next level. So for me, I would say one of the biggest things was just the relentlessness that you need at going at something that you want to get. So for me, my biggest thing was, all right, I want to be able to work for myself. That was number one. And number two, I want to be able to do that without having to use too much of my time. So when I first started off, to be honest with you guys, it wasn't in the sense that, for me, it wasn't like, okay, I want to not work for somebody else. It was the sense that I wanted to work for myself, one, and I didn't want to use up too much time. So what I told myself is I wanted to make as much money possible doing as little work as possible. That was always like my overarching thing when it came to business and entrepreneurship in general. I was like, how can I make as much money as possible doing as little as possible? But when I went into the notary space, when I finally got there after like graduating college and trying out different businesses and then failing in the notary business and then coming back, I started to realize like, okay, cool. I'm finally making money in the notary business, but it's not what I want. So for me, I would say the biggest change was, the first thing was finding out that there are ways to make money without having to use your time. That was the first mindset shift that I had. And you have to kind of be able to think of it like, all right, am I willing to make less money per client, but be able to fit more money in the day? If you're able to do that, then you're able to take on the personality and take on the traits that you need to become successful having like your own signing agency or your own signing service. Because when you do get to the point where you have your own signing agency and your signing service, and what I try to tell students is, in the beginning, you're gonna be making less money in the sense that you're not gonna get the full amount yourself. So as a regular notary, what tends to happen is you're driving out to these appointments, you're doing these signings, you're talking to clients, you have your commission obviously because you need it. After you do your notarizations, you're following up with clients, you're making sure that everything went good. But at the end of that appointment, you're actually able to get the full amount of money. So let's say you charge the client $100 and that included like your travel and your service fees and whatever it is. At least when you finish the job, you get that full $100, right? But if you want to be the type of person that can step away from your business and actually grow it and take it to another level, what you have to understand is that it's not going to be the same. Because if you're going to be essentially like the middleman, you have to be willing to take less money. So you're not going to get that full 100 anymore. What's going to end up happening is you're going to take less money. And let's say that you did a deal where you split it 50%, right? You're gonna have to split 50% with the person that's doing the notarizations, and then you're gonna keep the other 50. So you'll make $50 profit, but on the other hand, you're the one that doesn't have to go to the signings. So I realized that that's where I wanted to be. I realized that I was willing to take less money if that means more freedom. So one of the mindset shifts that you need to take on and understand is that people always talk about it, but people don't take it seriously. Like, you have to seriously treat that time as more valuable than money. And in the beginning, you might have to trade your time to get money, but once you start to have and find ways to become profitable, you need to start switching it and seeing like, all right, how can I get more of my time back? Because that's what really matters, because that's the invaluable resource that you can't get back no matter what. You can't go, as of right now, you can't buy more time into your life. You can't buy more hours in the day. So you need to find out a way to get as much freedom as you can back. Because in the beginning of the notary business, even when you become a signing agency and you're answering all these phone calls yourselves, you get to the point where you're gonna wanna step away from that and then let somebody else answer those calls. But even in doing that, what you're doing when you hire somebody, you're taking yourself away from the business. So you're taking a step out of the business, which you wanna do too. So next mindset I would tell you guys is you wanna find out ways to pull yourself out of the business, because the most profitable, the smartest thing you could do is learn how to work on your business rather than working in your business. In order to work on your business without working in your business is that you have to have people or systems or AI working in the business for you. So when I'm talking about you have to take on that mindset. You have to find out ways where you can have somebody being the cog in the wheel. They're consistently making the money, making sure that the money flows. While on the other hand, you're only worried about higher level stuff. So in terms of putting it in like more so business terms, or from a book from Gino Wickman called Traction, you kind of want to be the visionary when it comes to your business, meaning you're not working on the day-to-day tasks. So the day-to-day person that's going to work on a day-to-day task is called the operator. You want to get to the point where you become the visionary. So all you're really supposed to be focused on in the business is what's your future revenue going to look like, different strategies and tactics you use to get there, how can you find the best talent out there and have them work for you, how can you get more knowledge and information. So you need to be consistently reading, consistently buying courses, you need to consistently be doing mentorships. That's more so what your job is supposed to be as a visionary or entrepreneur. Visionary entrepreneur, taking your business to the next level. So that's the first thing you want to get out of the work in the day-to-day. Next up, you have to really, if you're trying to go from those $50 jobs to $1 million, you have to be okay with delayed gratification. So when I was first in my business, remember I told you guys that I kind of came into this business coming from that rock bottom standpoint. So when I came into the business, I wasn't making any money. I made money, successful, and then I hit like a brick wall. If there's anything harder than a brick wall, I hit it, and then I ended up being in a worse position than I was before. So when I was growing the business, I was working with little to nothing. I think I had some money, like I scraped up all the money I had in every savings account and every crypto account that I had. I put it all together, and I think I had enough money to do a little bit of advertising. But even when you advertise, even when you're working on your business, things don't happen nearly as fast as you want it. I remember Alex Hormozi talks about things are 3 times harder than you think it's going to be, and they take twice as longer than you think it's going to take. So one of the best traits that you can take on, or one of the best frames that you can kind of thinking through, is how can I work on something for extended periods of time without seeing any value, but also tracking KPIs so that you know that you're actually making progress, incremental progress, even if it's not something that you can see happen in your real life yet, even if you're not able to reap those benefits. So in a sense, is you have to understand how to take advantage of delayed gratification and how to be okay with it. Because a lot of times in business, when these months pass, you might not be making enough to where it's like, oh man, I'm making 5, 10K a month and it can pay my bills. But when you look at the business, you're gonna see incremental improvements. And that's all you should pay attention to. Don't ever try to rush it and take it to the point where you have to get it to where, oh gosh, I need to get it to 10,000 right now, or if it doesn't get there in 2 months, I'm gonna give up. No, you can't think about it like that. You have to have delayed gratification, meaning you understand that I could be working at this one thing for a year and it may not work, but I know that eventually, if I keep doing what I need to do, if I keep tracking the correct KPIs, I'm gonna get there. You have to take on that mindset of delayed gratification. Next up, I think another mindset thing that you have to adopt is understanding the entrepreneurship's curve. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's a curve that it starts going up, down, and up. And basically, when you first get into a business, you have this sense of like, oh my gosh, everything is new. You think you're gonna make a whole bunch of money from it, and then you go down, you hit a rock bottom because you start to learn more about the business. So it's uninformed optimism, means you're uninformed, so you're optimistic that it could work. And then you go down, like you're down at the bottom of the curve, which you're informed pessimism, where you know more about the business now, and it's harder than you thought it was. So now you're a little bit depressed because it's not as easy as you thought it would. And then you get informed optimism. So like, even though you were pessimistic about it, you're informed, and now you know what's going on and how to do it. So I just wish I would have learned different stages like that, because that would have lasted me to get to where I wanted to get to in the notary business faster. So these are the mindset shifts that I had that kind of helped me out. And I think the next thing is reading too. A lot of this information you could find on different platforms, maybe like YouTube. Well, I would probably say is the highest quality platform that you can go to learn information, and going through mentorships like coaches and stuff like that. Those are probably your best bet to closing the gap faster, or books. But if you're not the type of person that likes reading, you need to pick one of those. You need to get a coach or a mentor. You need to read books, or you need to be on YouTube, tracking your progress on things that you're actually getting done, and not just learning a whole bunch of shit and not getting it actually completed. Like the time from where you learn and you execute, that time frame in between is the real sauce. That's where people get lost in the sauce right there. So from the time you learn stuff to the time you execute, you need to keep that window in between as small as possible. You want your execution window to be to start occurring a lot faster than other people do. Because other people, they'll learn, and then they might execute a little bit. So I always say you need to learn, then you need to execute, then you need to reiterate. Like learn what you did and execute it that didn't work, and then learn some more on how to get around that. And you kind of have this feedback loop. You want that feedback loop working. So those are those mindset shifts that kind of took me to that $50 jobs to making $1 million plus in the notary business. So I would say that stuff can definitely help you out. If you want to learn more in-depth, practical stuff that you can actually take into your business, I would click the link in the bio. There's a free training there. If you click on that, it'll show you everything that you need to know in the notary business. 100% free training. I show you my numbers, and I walk you through what I did to build out the company and show you live in front of you what you can possibly make from the stuff that I've made as well. So go ahead and click on that free training in the link in the bio. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me down below. I'm free to ask. It's free to ask. And yeah, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.